I wanted to share with you a crazy story I heard about out of Chicago, Illinois. A woman received a phone call that her brother had been injured and was in the ICU in a local hospital. When she arrived, she found a man who had been severely beaten in the face and had suffered a number of other injuries. Now, because he was so badly beaten, she couldn't tell if it was her brother or not. The only thing that she could go off of was the police's identification of this man, despite the fact that he didn't have any ID on him at the time he was found. The man's injuries were so significant that hospital employees ultimately made her consider whether he should remain on life support or not. After consulting with other family members, she made the decision to remove the man from life support, and he died shortly thereafter. Now here's where the story gets crazy. While the woman was making funeral arrangements for the man she thought was her brother, she got a call from relatives stating that her brother, that she thought was dead, had just arrived at the family home for a barbecue that they were having that day. They soon found out that the man in the hospital was misidentified as her brother, and needless to say, the man's real family was devastated and angry that such an important decision had been made by a non-family member. So a couple of takeaways from the situation. First, whenever anyone faces a medical crisis in which they can't make decisions on their own, it's important to have a medical power of attorney in place. A medical POA, or often referred to as an advanced medical directive, is a document that names an individual as an agent that can gather a person's medical information and speak on that person's behalf while that person is incapacitated. Without this document in place, healthcare providers are stuck making decisions on their own with no input from family members. Second, a person facing a medical crisis should have a living will in place. A living will is a document that plainly states that if a person is diagnosed with a condition that is terminal in nature, leaving them in a vegetative state and there's no hope for recovery, the person has made the medical decision not to be hooked up to life support. This is a very personal decision that should be made by each individual, and it takes the pressure off of family members to make such a difficult decision. Now, there is no guarantee if this man had these documents in place that it would have led to a different outcome in his particular situation. But most certainly, if the family was faced with these life and death decisions, having these documents in place certainly would have given them guidance and also given them clarity as to what his desires would have been.